rosemary. I'm going to use it in my pumpkin and rosemary muffins. They're just so easy to make, and on the weekends when things are a little less frantic, I make a whole batch and then just freeze them. And you know, these muffins are good for breakfast, lunch, or just a snack. Anytime, really. Now for the flour. So I've got self-raising here, 180 grams of that. And then 130 of this wholemeal flour. And I'm using a mixture of both, because if you use too much wholemeal flour, the product will be quite heavy. So I want these muffins to be nice and light, so it's good to use a combination. And then 1 teaspoon of baking powder. This will give it a nice rise. And half a teaspoon of bicarb. That will make the crumb really, really tender. And now a good pinch of salt. And then sift it all together. Now usually I don't sift my flours, but the reason I'm doing it with this is because I want to get the bran from the wholemeal flour to sprinkle on the top. Just makes it look really, really good. Extra decoration. Okay, so those are the dry ingredients. Now I'm going to get on with the wet ingredients. So I need 2 eggs, free range or organic if you can. Whisk them up a bit. And then the pumpkin. So I've got 240 grams and I've boiled it already. 100 ml of plain yogurt, 275 ml of milk, 60 ml of vegetable oil, a few squidges of honey, so it's nice and sweet. Okay, and just a quick stir. Now I'm going to put the wet and the dry ingredients together. So they say when you're making muffins, you should only do about 8 stirs, otherwise the crumb gets very chewy. So in everything goes, and it's a very liquid, unattractive mix. So just really gently mixing it together. It's roughly mixed, but that'll do fine. So now I'm going to pour it back into this jug and make it much easier to put it into the muffin cases. There, see, it doesn't look very attractive at all, but it does taste very good once it's cooked. I'm going to put it in the muffin cases. I just start off with some oil. Just the spray oil is easiest. And then take one of your squares, push it all the way down into the hole, and then take your muffin mix and just pour it in right the way to the top. And then take your reserved bran and pumpkin or butternut squash. Just sprinkle on the bran. Put these little squares on as well. And I like to put some on the top because otherwise all that lovely colour gets lost in the mix. And then lastly, I like to put on some pumpkin seeds, give it some extra crunch. Right, now I'll just get on with the rest. Don't they look good? So I'm going to put these in the oven, 200 degrees, for about 20 to 25 minutes, and once they're cooked and cooled, I'll freeze them. So that's 11 for the freezer and 1 for me.